All right, guys. So tonight, Anna and I are just going to talk to you guys for a few minutes, just kind of about some tips and thoughts that we have, and then we're going to open it up for you guys to kind of talk to us. We've just been kind of talking lately, and we really kind of want to just like hear from you guys, and we just want to kind of know where you guys are at. We want to hear, what you're struggling with, any questions you might have, anything you're discouraged about. We just want you guys to know that we have been there and we go through it. Let me just mute everybody. I'm going to mute you if you're not muted yet, just because if we don't mute you, it'll make it lag.
Just mute all.
Oh, yeah. See, this is why I have Anna around. She's so much smarter than me.
And then we have to unmute ourselves. No, we're good.
Okay. All right, we're good. If you guys need anything, just wave or unmute yourself. So we wanted to talk to you for a little bit tonight, I guess about the stuff that doesn't really always get talked about in the business or on team calls. And so we were talking the other day, and we were just kind of talking about how sometimes with this business, it's like, I think people kind of just think that it's always butterflies and rainbows, or, they kind of look at like us, as your upline, and we've been doing it for a little while, and maybe we've found some success in it that, people who haven't been doing it for as long or in the same way haven't. And I think sometimes it's easy to kind of sit back and get discouraged, or to just kind of say like, it's not for me, or something I'm doing is not working and I'm just going to give up, or I'm just going to kind of wait. And it's almost like you become like paralyzed, and you kind of just start like staying stagnant. And the thing is, if you stay stagnant long enough, you're going to start going backwards. You're not going to move forward. So we kind of just want to give you guys some tips and thoughts tonight on how to revamp your business, how to get out of that like stagnant state or that discouraged mentality, and kind of move forward. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys tonight kind of just about the basics. So whether you're a new coach or you're an old coach who has been doing this for a long time, if you're somebody who's feeling discouraged, or maybe you're a new coach or an old coach who just is kind of like, I don't know where to start. Or maybe you started a long time ago and you were rocking your business and something came up and life happened and you got discouraged and you kind of let your business go for a month or a couple months or a year, and so maybe now you're like, I don't know how to start again. Or maybe you're thinking, I can't start again. And you are just kind of stuck and you don't know what to do. So I've been there. I don't know if you guys know my story, but I was kind of like a hobby coach my first couple of years trying to figure things out. So I had many moments where I kind of had to like figure out what to do, or even times where I thought about quitting. Okay. I had times where I got discouraged and I had to figure out how to pull through. So if you're having one of those moments, you're feeling discouraged, or if you're a new coach and you don't really know where to start and you're kind of trying to figure it out, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is go back to the basics. The basics will always save you in this business. I feel like sometimes people overcomplicate it, and start trying to do, they try to avoid the basics, because sometimes the basics aren't the exciting. It's not the exciting part of the business. It's not the part of the business that makes you like, woo, I can't wait to do this. It's more of the work. It's more of the stuff that you need to do that you don't necessarily love to do. But if you just start doing the basics again, it'll start getting easier again, and you'll start getting that motivation back. So go back to the basics. Go back to the vital behaviors. They are the vital behaviors for a reason. I personally use the binder method. If you haven't heard of the binder method that I use, it is on my call about organization. Go onto the team page and just watch the recording on organization, and I tell you exactly how I break my binder down. But I will tell you, getting organized will make you feel better all the way around. And it's kind of like a refresher. So every time I'm feeling unmotivated, or I'm feeling stuck, or I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, my business is going backwards, or I don't know how to move forward, I just give my binder a nice little makeover and I start fresh. I write some new names down. I kind of just go back in there and get organized again. And it's amazing what it'll do for your mentality. Okay, so start with the basics, get your binder going, reach back out to all of your old people. Okay, so if you are an old coach who kind of fell off track, and maybe disappeared off the face of the earth for a month or so. Listen, it happens. I don't recommend it in your business, but if it happens, it happens, okay? If you're that coach, I feel like a lot of times people feel uncomfortable to reach back out to people. It's almost like, oh, I disappointed them. I didn't message them every week like I should, or, I kind of disappeared on them because I had stuff going on. I can't reach back out to them because they think I'm a failure now. And you'd be surprised how just a simple message to them will make them feel awesome and get them motivated. Just by you just messaging them, it'll get them motivated again. They want to hear from you.
They don't care that you even
No, people get it. People know that life happens. It happens, okay? So go back in and reach out to your old challengers. Reach out to all your old customers and all your old potentials. Reach out to anybody you've talked to and just say, hey, I'm starting fresh. I'm getting back on track. I want you guys to get back on track with me. If you have coaches on your team who you might have let down or you kind of disappeared on them for a little while, reach back out to them and be like, listen, I'm getting back on track. I'm getting back to the basics. Do you want to get back to the basics with me? We overcomplicate it sometimes. We make it so much more complicated than it is. It's really not. If you're feeling discouraged, start with the basics and then just work your way back up to the fun stuff, okay? And the other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is how we have that like shiny object syndrome. And I think we're all guilty of it to an extent, especially when you are maybe somebody who was in the full-time workforce, or maybe you're still in the full-time workforce and you started coaching and, maybe wanted to make coaching your full-time thing, but then it got kind of tough. You kind of went into one of those dips, where we have to go through the dips, the roller coaster ride. And you're like, no, this is uncomfortable. It was easier to just stay where I was. And I think sometimes we're guilty of just going back to that comfort zone, that place that is easy because we know it, but it doesn't really bring us what we really want. It doesn't fulfill our dreams. So I know because I've been there. I actually became a stay-at-home mom because I opened a little at-home salon. And when I first started Beachbody, I knew I wanted to do Beachbody full-time. That's what I wanted to do. And it took me a long time to give up doing hair simply because of the fact that I was like, but what if Beachbody falls through? What if my business falls apart? I can't stop doing hair because then I'm going to lose all that clientele. And I had built a lot of clientele over the years. And it was like, I need it for my backup plan. I got to the point where I started hating doing hair. So I went from doing something that I was passionate about to hating it, but I kept it around for that just in case moment or for that little bit of extra cash that I really didn't need. So I feel like that can happen too when you quit something and you start doing something you're really passionate about, or you get to a point where you can't quit your full-time job yet, but you really want to make Beachbody work. And then it's like it gets a little bit hard or you get a little bit discouraged and you're like, no, I'm just going to go back to what I know works. And the thing is, you all started coaching for a reason. And you all have a why. And I believe that you guys all have a why that's a lot bigger than whatever it is that you're doing right now. And I think that you all there's something about coaching that you want out of it that's bigger. Okay. So I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot of coaches give up and go try to do something else. It's like, oh, Beachbody's getting hard. Okay. Yes. Beachbody's getting hard. Okay, I'm going to go do this, and it's fun in the beginning. And that new thing is so exciting. And then guess what? You hit the spot where it gets hard. And then you're like, oh, wait a second. Okay, it wasn't supposed to be hard. Wait, should I go back to Beachbody now? and the thing is, it's like everything you do, every job you have, every career, whatever, is going to have a hard time. It's going to have hard moments where you kind of have to work and you got to put some work in to get what you want out of it. So I just want to remind you guys that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Don't give up on Beachbody thinking that you're gonna go find, another MLM company. You're gonna go sell It Works, or you're gonna go sell the LuLaRoe leggings, and that's gonna be the it thing for you, and that's where it's gonna work. You will be doing that for the rest of your life. And take it from me, somebody who has jumped from thing to thing to thing until I finally found Beachbody and was like, okay, I'm gonna make this one thing work, and I'm not gonna give up on it. If you constantly jump around to different things, you're just going to be focused on 1,000 different things, and you're not going to be able to just make one thing work. Where if you dial in on Beachbody and on your Beachbody business, and you tell yourself, I'm not giving up on this, I'm making this work, and you stick it out through the hard times, eventually it's going to be worth it. Okay, so don't have the shiny object syndrome. Remember that the grass is not always greener on the other side, and work at it, because if we can do it, you guys can do it. And there's passion to be found in it. You just have to work at it. Okay. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about.
Did you want to talk about like challenge groups or anything?
Oh yes, that was the other thing. So this kind of goes along with reaching back out to your old potentials and your old coaches. If you feel like you're lacking that motivation and your challengers aren't really like super motivated, or they're not getting results, or they're not doing their programs, you need to stop and you need to think about your challenge groups. You need to decide what you can do to make your challenge groups better. And I personally found with my challenge groups, when I'm motivated and I'm in there and happy and motivated and I'm doing my workouts and I'm posting videos and I'm showing them what I'm doing and I'm showing them that I'm excited and I'm excited to be a product of the product, I have challengers who are more motivated and more excited and get results. The key to this business is to get people involved and get them results. So you want to get them results physically, and you want to get them results mentally. It goes hand in hand. So you need to just be there for them, be their coach, dive into your challenge groups, figure out, if it's not working, why is it not working? What can you be better at? What can you put more effort into? I think sometimes in our challenge groups, we get kind of lazy and we're kind of like, okay, let me just put the next assignment up. Okay, day 1 assignment, day 2 assignment. And when we get lazy and unmotivated in our challenge groups, our challengers are going to feel that, and they're going to feed off of that. If you're in your groups excited and you're talking to people and you're posting workout videos and doing all that, your challengers are going to feel that and they're going to follow suit. Okay, so I feel like challenge groups are kind of key to your business, or at least having some type of motivation group where you keep your challengers motivated. That's key, because challengers who get results and are happy and motivated are going to turn into coaches who believe in the product and the opportunity. And it is just kind of a circle. That's just how it works. So those are some tips that you guys can do if you're feeling unmotivated and you feel like you either need to start from the beginning or you need to start over. Just dive in, stick with the basics. Start doing those things, and I really think that you'll see a big difference. And then as you start seeing positive things happen, you'll find that you'll naturally start getting that motivation again. And when you start seeing your people get results and they're excited, you'll feed off of that, and you'll be like, oh, awesome. Like I'm helping these people. Like this feels really good. I want more of this. All right. So now I'm going to turn it over to Anna, and she's going to talk to you guys for a little bit.
And she just talked about the challenge groups, and it actually reminded me something we've been really focusing on lately. And if you're on my team, we've been talking a little bit more about passion and leading with your passion, because I think that is seriously the biggest reason that we get burnt out, the reason that we get tired, the reason we open our phone and we're like, I don't want to talk to people today, because we're not leading with our passion. We're kind of starting to go through the motions and we forget why we began. So you need to find your passion, find out what it is. For me personally, health and fitness, the actual working out aspect, that's not my passion. That's not what I'm good at. That's not what I excel at. This one, she does great at it. We're total opposites. My passion is really more the nitty-gritty of the emotional side. So I've really started changing my groups around more. If you're in our group, we teamed up this month and we're putting both of our minds together for that. But I have more fun in my challenge groups now because I'm leading with my passion. So I'm able to wake up in the morning, and yes, we're still talking about health and fitness and all of that good stuff, but I'm able to add my little niche of passion in there, and then I'm excited about it. I'm not burnt out, and I'm wanting to share and wanting to post. So if you're feeling like you're kind of going through the motions of the groups, because I get it, I've been there. At one point, I was running 3 groups a month, and it was just mayhem. I definitely want to implore you guys to go back to your nitty-gritty, your why, your passion, and lead from there. And if you don't know what it is yet, if you don't know what your actual passion is, that is okay. You'll find it in this business, and you're welcome to come to me, to Steph, and we'll help you find that. But I just wanted to add that in when she's talking about challenge groups, because I think that's something we forget about. We just go through the motions, like she said, and post things. So make it your own. Make it something you can hop in there and you are excited to talk to your people about, because by the time they get in that group, you should know them pretty well, and well enough to know, are they going to be more driven by the accountability, or are they more driven by sharing and the emotional aspect, okay? So get to know them. First of all, my actual subject, I wanted to talk about adapting. So some of you guys who have been coaching for a little while, you've probably kind of noticed things have been wonky the last few months, right? Do you feel like things are kind of wonky, like you're trying to get your bearings, everything's a little crazy? We have these new launches, we have the on-demand now, Facebook's making changes, Instagram's making changes. I had a mild heart attack when my Instagram wanted to connect to my like page the other day. I didn't know what it was going to change or what it was going to do. But if you guys know me, I love Facebook. I love the way it works. I love the algorithms. I love just figuring that stuff out. And adapting is so important in this business. If you are constantly sticking to the exact same methods every single time, you're not letting yourself grow and adapt to what is going on around us. As entrepreneurs, we don't have the luxury of just sitting still and staying right where we are. We have to adapt, and it's not a bad thing. I hate change. I am scared of change. I don't like change. My anxiety gets going. But when you keep telling yourself, I'm constantly adapting, I'm adapting in this business, I can do this, I'm like a little chameleon, then your mentality is going to change about it. And a big part of adapting, you've got to adapt emotionally, social media-wise. There's so many aspects. So emotionally adapting. As you go through your business, when you're a new coach, how you feel emotionally as a new coach, how do you feel, right? You feel so excited. You're so pumped. You're like, I've got this. I'm going to take over the world. And then come like 6 or 7 months later, you've gone through all the motions. Your business is booming. You're ready to go, but you're kind of like, now what? I know what the 3 vitals are. I know my basic things I need to do to get Success Club every month. But now what? So emotionally, you're starting to change. You're starting to adapt. And that comes off how you talk to people. That comes off in your posts. That comes off in everything you're doing in your business. So by emotionally adapting, I mean that you need to, of course, grow yourself, but you're sharing that emotional change. So whether that's in your posting, people are noticing. I know some of the coaches, at least some of you guys have been with me for a while. I imagine you've probably seen quite the shift from when you first began to now. I've emotionally changed, and I know all of you guys have that are on my team, and it's not a bad thing. So emotionally, think ahead to when you might have to adapt, when your things are going to start changing. Are you an anxious person? Are you a balls to the wall, let's go kind of person? Know your own mentality, know how you feel, and try and start looking ahead and say, okay, am I going to have to emotionally adapt when my team gets bigger? Am I going to emotionally have to adapt when I go full time? These are all big things, and even the little things, different group might emotionally make you need to change, as opposed to a clean eating group versus a love yourself group. Emotionally, you have to adapt to both of those differently, right? So think about emotionally adapting. It's something we have to do. constantly growing ourselves. Social media, guys, I have seen so many coaches come into this business and they think all I have to do is buy my tools and that's it. It's all just going to fall into my lap. But what we know we have to work hard, right? We have to build those relationships. We have to show people love, show them compassion, and lead with, our hearts on our sleeves at the same time. And social media is our biggest tool. It is the most important thing that we have, and we are so lucky. Could you imagine being an entrepreneur 20 years ago and trying to get your name out there, trying to get your word out there, and people aren't reading the newspaper or people aren't doing these things? Social media puts us and our faces and your selfies and your life right there in their hands. They can feel you, they can see you, they can relate to what you have to say and your story. And that is huge. That is amazing. So don't ever take that for granted. But when it comes to social media, guys, things are always changing. And there are so many things you can invest in. And I'm not just talking Facebook ads. We have so many amazing leaders out there that want to teach you things. Josh Coates, Angie Lee, Shalene Johnson. There are so many different leaders out there that offer little things. They offer little courses or free courses, just like we do free groups, guys. Just like we do a free group for clean eating or a free group for no soda or a free group for loving yourself. They offer little free challenges too. They offer a little social media boot camp or a little recruiting boot camp. And those are free to join. Or you can pay $99 and do a little boot camp for 2 months. It's okay to invest in those things. And sometimes you need to go out and look for them, right? If you're working a corporate job, I know as a teacher, when I was teaching, we had to go to trainings, we had to do things. And yes, we have these trainings, we have our calls, and we have all those tools. But it's okay to go outside of Beachbody, and maybe if you see an advertisement for a conference, who's the one that always does all the conferences? Big guy, money guy.
Oh, starts with an L.
Yeah, that guy.
I'll figure that out.
He's obviously really famous because I just remembered it really well. No, he is famous, but he'll come to different towns and do little seminars. And I think the last one we went to was Les Brown or something, and it was free. It was completely free to go. They were advertising a lot of stuff to us, but it was still free, and you can go and
I think the point is that there is
so much room to grow.
So much free
content,
free stuff out there. All you have to do is go on Google or YouTube or type in a Facebook search bar. If you want to get motivated and educated, it's there. The tools are there. It's just up to you.
Do it. Don't be afraid to adapt in that way. If you're confused with ads, Facebook ads, and social media, go take a little course. Go do little things. Those are business builders, and they're tax write-offs, guys.
And once you go and search and do it, if you're still feeling like confused, ask. Just ask.
Yeah.
Message Anna or message me. Don't just become paralyzed or just say, nope, not going to happen. Ask.
There are lots of ways. I use Facebook ads. I love Facebook ads. She doesn't, and her business still is just the same, but she runs it different ways. We run it different ways, but for me, that's been one of my biggest tools. So don't be scared to go find new tools and do new things. You could start a podcast. Guys, have you even thought of these things? You could start a podcast. Why not? You could do it. You might not be Shalene Johnson, but you don't have to be. It's pretty cool. So your personal development, obviously a big thing. I won't preach you guys on personal development because that is our nitty gritty, but there are so many aspects to that, more so than just reading a book. Make sure the books that you're reading are your books. They need to be books for you. You personally. I love to grab a coffee at Starbucks, go sit in front of the self-help shelf at Barnes & Noble and read the back of every single book. And the book that stands out to me is the book that I pick. It says, pick me, pick me, pick me. And that's the one that I read next, okay? So think about it. Go for it. Your mindset in this business, guys, is huge, okay? If you are constantly telling yourself, well, this isn't going to work because so-and-so isn't having good luck right now, or so-and-so's business is failing, so mine's going to fail too, or the whole company is going down and everything's falling apart. That's not true. That's not true. Usually, people who are losing everything, they're either not doing the work or they're not adapting. That's simply it. They're either not adapting or they're not doing the work that it takes to do, okay? Two most important things, or everything's going to slip away from you, okay? Not to scare you, but your self-talk and your mindset is so important. Affirmations, tell yourself, I have enough time in the day to complete my power hour. I have enough time in the day to get the house cleaned. I have enough time in the day to sit down and spend 20 minutes with myself in my mind, no distractions. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I have more than enough clients coming to me wanting my help. I have more than enough passion and strength to lead people. I am a leader. I'm a team builder. Tell yourself these things. Don't be scared. Wake up every single morning. I actually have a song. I've been driving Steph nuts to listen to it. She probably hasn't even listened to it yet. And knowing her. Knowing Steph. It's by, knowing you. You haven't listened to it. It's by Sia, the one that does the Chandelier song, but it's called Unstoppable.
I have heard that.
And
one.
You guys need to listen to it. I like the last month and a half, I've been waking up. I sit down in my office, no joke, Scott thinks I am nuts. I sit down in my office and I play that song and I just sit there and I listen to it. And in the song, I'm unstoppable and, I don't need all these, it's a good one. It's a power you up
and let me tell you guys too, coming from a second person, because I know sometimes when people sit here and they preach positive affirmations, tell yourself this and it'll happen. It is true. And I know sometimes when you're in a discouraged state or you're just kind of or in a funk, it's no, that positive crap, get it away from me. It doesn't work. That's stupid. It's a waste of time. And what you focus on expands. And I promise you guys that if you change your mindset and you do what Anna's talking about and you wake up and you get yourself motivated with something each day, and then you constantly talk to yourself throughout the day, or, if you're religious, you pray, or, whatever you do.
Affirmations and pray.
It will change your life. It will change your day. It will change everything, but you have to be aware of it and you actually have to do it every single day.
And I've found that I'm more positive to the people around me when I do my own affirmations, because not only am I sitting there hey girl, you got this, but I'm looking at Steph you got this. You are strong. You are wonderful. You are beautiful.
If we're having a bad day, I'm hey, Anna. Anna's Steph, listen.
Shut up and you're wonderful.
Yeah.
But just like that, we have those days too, guys. We have to get our affirmations in and get our things in. The last thing that I really want to talk to you guys about is surrounding yourself with positivity. Now, I know this sounds so cliche, we're going to surround ourselves with people who smile. But listen, if your husband or your boyfriend is sitting there you need to get off social media. I need to not be doing that. You know what I need to tell them? Too bad. Because there comes a point, obviously don't ruin your relationship, but there comes a point when you need to be you are being not very positive right now. I need you to go take a breather and take a time out. You can do that, guys.
You know what, though? You said don't ruin your relationship, but if the person you're with isn't supporting you, and trust me, I have been in my share of bad relationships, okay? If the person you're with is not supporting you, that's not a good relationship. And it might be kind of hard to get out of, or you might be I can't do what I want to do, or I can't be positive because it's going to make things worse. But if you change the way you act and you become a more positive person, that negative person in your life, and this goes for all relationships, this goes for friendships,
everything,
marriages, whatever. If you become a more positive person and you work on yourself, that person will either change or they will leave. And if they leave, they were not good for you and they should not have been in your life.
Right.
And if they truly love you and care about you and they start to see you change and become more positive and make your life better, they will feed off of that. People feed off of energy. So if they're negative and you're feeding off of it, it's just going to be a constant negative. But if you're becoming positive and changing, they're going to feed off of that. And they might hate it in the beginning. In the beginning, it might be horrible. They might be no way, this Beachbody thing, it sucks. I don't like you posting selfies. You're not putting a bikini picture up. You know what I mean? And they might push against everything you're doing. But eventually, the more you do it and the more you change yourself and your outlook on life, they're going to feed off of that. All right? So...
Yep, because I'm trying not to go over real fast for you guys. Okay, good. I got 1 more minute. All right. So what I was going to say was surround yourself with positivity. You guys know, my team knows I can talk forever, so I'll just, But
we won't get cut off.
I know,
tonight,
we won't get cut off. We're good. But the positivity, guys, don't be scared to think to yourself, okay, Cindy is using you, Cindy, but she's being really negative to me this week, and she's making me feel like I can't do this and I can't complete this. Cindy's not ever negative me. I'm just using her name because it was looking there. You guys don't worry. But, that's okay to distance yourself for some time. Maybe take a day or two and pull yourself back. You don't have to hurt that person's feelings. You don't have to say anything. Just pull back a little bit, because sometimes if we're so invested in that moment, we're going to then dwell on that negativity. And what does that do? That turns into your mind and what your self-talk is. Because let me tell you, if someone tells me all day long that I'm not very smart and I can't complete anything, I'm going to start telling myself, I'm not very smart, I can't complete this, right? So let's not surround ourselves with that. And same goes for people on your social media. Don't be worried about that. There is nothing, think about it, guys. Is there anything that someone could really say to you right now that would hurt you so badly that you would just give up? Whatever that is, you need to write it down. And I want you to read that thing over and over and over and look at yourself in the mirror and say, really? Is this really something that is so horrible that I would give up my dream of freedom, my dream of supporting my family, my dream of helping others? Is it that important? Think about it, okay, guys? Because at this point, I don't think, as a brand new coach, there's a whole bunch of things I could have written down. Oh yeah, if someone said that to me, I would be devastated. Now I'm I don't know what they're going to say because I'm crazy and I love it, right? So think about that. Surround yourself with positivity. You probably are. As you make a change, as your journey moves forward. I lost a lot of friends. They're still my friends, but they don't call me like they used to and things like that. But that's because my life has changed, and I'm okay with that. Same thing when you have kids. You lose some friends, right? When you have kids and people are doing their own thing. So remember, guys, it's all in your mindset as well. Don't be scared to talk to yourself and reaffirm everything that you already know about yourself, okay? Deep down, you know it. You just haven't admitted it to yourself sometimes, but you know it. You know you're fabulous, okay? So use that, feed off of it, write it on sticky notes if you have to. I have sticky notes all over my laptop with just random affirmations and things, okay? So do it. I promise you. Do it, okay? All right, we got it? I think that's all I had.
And another thing is, if people are being negative or they're saying something that you feel like would make you break down, one thing that I had to learn to do when I started this business, I'm a people pleaser, okay? Huge people pleaser, to the point where I would give my life if I felt like it was going to make you feel better in some way. And that was a problem for me in this business. And I really had to evaluate that and work on that. And one thing that I started to do was just realize that if people come at me with negativity, or, even if they come at me trying to bring me down, 10 times out of 10, it is coming from a place of their own insecurity. And so when those moments happen, if you remember to tell yourself that and you really stop and think about the situation, you'll start to find where you will start to see exactly where that insecurity is coming from with them. And it will start to shift where it won't even affect you mentally, personally. You'll actually start to kind of feel empathy for these people. And there will actually be a part of you that says, no worries, when you're ready, I'm here to help you. And it's a really cool thing when that starts to happen. So it's really good to just focus on being positive and remembering that negativity is probably coming from something deep inside them that has absolutely nothing to do with you. And those people might come around one day. There's actually a very good chance they might come around one day and come to you for help, because you're that person that inspired them with that positivity and that motivation. So, all right. So let's just start with totally free for all. Does anybody have anything that you want to ask or talk
posting,
about?
messaging, we don't care. Anything you want to ask about, go for it.
Anything you want to say? Anything you've been thinking about?
If you want to sing a song.
If you have something, just raise your hand. We'll take you off of mute. You guys are speaking tonight, so if I have to ask questions,
everybody.
All right, let's start with. Okay, go, Cindy.
Oh wait, hold on. Can you unmute yourself? Oh wait, manage participants. I can do it. I can do it, Cindy. I will save you. Go.
Okay. My question. Hey. I have a really time-consuming full-time job, and I really, really, really want to make this work. But I feel like I maybe my time management is not good because I'm trying to get in the coach training and I'm trying to post and I'm trying to whatever. And it seems like I'm trying to do all these things and I'm not really accomplishing anything. So what's your suggestion?
What's your day look like right now? Like, what do you do first thing when you wake up in the morning?
So I wake up in the morning at 5. I leave the house at 6.
Okay.
I don't get home from work until like 6 or 7, depending. So I'm a loss prevention manager. So if I'm catching a shoplifter, I might be at work till 9.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you first of all, when do you schedule your workout in your day?
When I come home.
Okay, so you work out at night. And when do you have your Shakeology in your day?
In the morning.
Okay.
When I go to work.
So you work out from just depending on when you get home.
When I get home, I've made myself do this for the last week. When I get home, I drop my stuff, I go change my clothes, and I immediately work out.
Woohoo!
Okay. What do you do for like that release? I think we all kind of have that like stress release, that thing that we do at the end of the night where it's like, okay, we need to calm down. What do you do and how long do you do that for?
Nothing, honestly.
So yeah, you've kind of been all over the place the last few months. So yeah, you probably need a good like.
Yeah.
I do. That's no lie.
So what do you do when you're done with your workout? You probably shower and.
So I'm done with my workout. I shower and then I'll like eat. Now I try to prep, like food prep for a couple of days at a time. Like if you look at my refrigerator right now, all my containers are ready. So all I got to do is throw them in my lunch thing and go. But I'll do my workout, I'll shower, and then I'll get on, I'll do some coach training. I'll try to fit a post in. I try to post like at lunch at work and I can have my phone, but sometimes depending on what's going on, I can't always have my phone.
Right. I understand that.
So I'll try to do some coach training and then like trying to figure out how to invite.
Okay.
I'm actually going to do a whole team call on inviting probably next week. So we'll share that one with you too. I feel like that's something a lot of coaches struggle with.
The biggest part is just biting the bullet and doing it.
Yeah. Honestly,
like I don't mind doing it, but okay, like Anna had us do like, cause I'm in Anna's group. Anna had us do our post. I got like 40 or 50 likes on my post.
Okay.
And like lots of encouragement or whatever. So from that, like no one obviously wanted to do it.
That you know of. That
I know of. That's fair. But like, how do I embark on that without making them feel like, hey, I think you're fat and you need, you know what I mean? Like that's my mentality when I'm talking to them. That's how I don't want to make them feel.
Right.
You could do a simple, if they liked your post, you could do a simple message and just message them and say, hey, so-and-so, thank you so much for liking my posts. You know, as you could probably tell on my Facebook, I've been going through a lot these past few months. And I'm really working on myself. And it feels good to know that I have a support system. So I just wanted to, reach out and tell you, thank you for supporting me. And if I can ever support you or help you in return, I'm here for you. And just opening up that line of communication. And you're not being fake and you're not trying to sell them. All you're doing is you're building that relationship and you're honestly letting people know, thank you for supporting me, because it truly does feel good when we're supported. Mm-hmm. And I want you to know that I'm here to do the same thing for you.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to make them want to start following your journey more. And like she said, it opens up that line of communication because they're most likely going to write back like, oh, of course, I love watching you. Or maybe they'll say, yeah, I could use some accountability too. You never know. Plus, that helps you as well because you're getting out of that comfort zone and you're saying thank you. And as much as that sounds like a little word, that's a big deal. And a lot of people don't say thank you anymore. A lot of people don't say thank you for supporting me. Thank you for caring, right? So you're showing them that you care too. And then write their names down and do your ABCs with them. Because now, and do it a little, more often because they're in there and they're going to see that you're interacting with them. So definitely make sure they're on your list for your ABCs for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of coaches feel like, I have to invite. like I have to message them and be like, okay, I'm starting a challenge group on the 30th. I need you to buy a challenge pack this week. And it doesn't have to be that. It's about planting the seeds and you know, building the relationships. And that might mean that it takes a couple months for you to, you know, sell 5 challenge packs, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to take your time and be real and truly focus on helping these people and figure out, where can I be a light in their life? You know, where can I support them? And that's what it's about. And I'm going to tell you, I've never been the Success Club 10 achiever every month, but where I sit in my business is pretty high in the business. And it is because I have always focused on my people and truly helping them. Yes, I've never looked at my people like, crap, I got to hit Success Club 10, you know, I'm just going to sell them a challenge pack and disappear on them. It's okay to build relationships and, you know, work on that. And if you want to be a Success Club 10 achiever, you can do that. But that means you need to build more relationships. Yep, you need to invite more people. And that's all it is.
Yep, that's all it is. Build more.
As far as your schedule, though, Cindy, I mean, if there's anything in your day, like if you get, you know, some time during your lunch break where you can kind of jump on and send some messages, or, you know, if there was something like, you know, watching a TV show, I know a lot of people do. Me personally, I don't watch TV anymore.
I can't tell you the last TV show I watched, honestly.
Yeah, so that's just kind of my thing. I'd rather kind of lay in bed at night and catch up on messages. But if your schedule is truly so busy that you don't have the time, take your days off.
I was gonna say.
And use those and just dive in hardcore as much as you can on your days off, and just, you know, dive in full force and do that. Mm-hmm. And then you're really just going to have to focus on that mentality. So it's going to be tricky for you, because I know you probably feel like, I have no time to do this business. Like, I'm super overwhelmed. I know the feeling. Ask Anna. Okay.
No, I want to use my time. I am going to do this business. Like, yeah. I've made myself that promise, but I just want to know how to use my time to the best. You know what I mean?
Right.
How to do what's best in the short time that I have.
And I think that's all just going to be up here, because you don't sound like somebody who slacks off and is lazy and just watches TV instead of doing the business. So I think the trick for you is going to be to honestly just keep that mindset where you just tell yourself, I'm going to do whatever I can to get there, and it's going to pay off. And you just do it as you can, when you can.
You know what I suggest? Find out. So sit down. Say, for example, Sunday is your day off. You have weekends off. Sit down on Sunday and write down everything that you can think of that has to happen during the week. So write it all down. And that includes grocery shopping, paying bills. Write it all down, a big brain dump, barf on your paper of everything that has to be done, and then go through and categorize it, a 1 to 10. 10 being the most important, 1 being the least important, or opposite, whatever. Just keep track of whichever one's the most important one. And rate them all, and then put them in groups. So all the 1s are here, all the 2s are here, and it's gonna show you A, where you might be focusing on that you could change, and B, it's gonna give you a shell of what you can start scheduling. So you've got all your 1s, and maybe you think, okay, all these 1s, they need to be done by Wednesday. So you know, for your hour or half hour that you're going to work after your workout, instead of sitting there and being like, oh, I got 900 things to do, you know, all right, today are all my number 1s and all my number 2s, okay? And then you can nail them out, because having a list is so much more proficient. And that by the end of the week, you're like, if you didn't get everything done, that's those 10s, you know, that weren't quite as important. So it's okay to make those go into the weekend and finish them on the weekend.
Organization.
Yeah.
It will save you in this business.
So don't feel like you do every single thing every day. Just know what are the most important things.
Thank you.
Of course.
Anybody else want to volunteer? I talk, but okay, let's see. But I've had a lot of connections. They asked for the program.
I think you can see it all through Click Chat.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's keep that up, because she'll probably talk to us. Okay. So did you want to go, or you want me to go?
You sound like you have something you want to say.
I'm going to say. All right. So love that your son's sleeping. A lot of connections. and they ask for a program. Okay, so when they first message you, are they saying, I'm interested in such and such program? And then what do you say to them? If you can't write back, it's okay. I don't know if you're typing or not.
For those of you that aren't looking at the chat.
Oh, it says,
Jasmine asked, my son's sleeping or I talk, but I've had a lot of connections. They ask for the program. Then when I send the link, they ignore me and it's so discouraging.
okay.
Which, by the way, Jasmine, totally 110% normal.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I posted my transformation picture like a couple weeks ago and like blew up. I got like 80 likes on it and everything. And like I messaged a whole bunch of people that they were like, oh, I want to know what you did. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I messaged them and I asked them like, you know, like what they wanted, like what their goals are and stuff like that. And we had like the talk and then they're like, oh, well, most of them just like, they don't even really like say like what they actually want to do. They're just kind of like, I want to do what you did. And I'm like, okay, well, so I'd be like, all right, well, I did 21 Day Fix. I'll explain it to them. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then so I'm like, okay, well, do you want me to send you the link? And so you can look at it or whatever. And then like I was like, I don't know if like it's something that I'm doing.
It is. It is. It's you. All right.
But it's totally
that's
normal.
Okay. It's totally normal. And it's okay.
And we all do it in the beginning.
And I'm just telling you that so that you like, you know, a little tough love is work. All right. But that's all right. So I have a video I want you to watch. It's called Closing with Class. And I think that will help. But a lot of the time, that Cindy's like, yeah, I'm like, you guys know that's my team knows that's like my jam, my favorite video in the world. So it actually is my favorite thing because it gives you a really good shell to break down the conversation where they don't quite realize that you're getting their goals from them and you're getting to know them at the same time. So you kind of start with, you know, have you tried anything in the past? And then you can move into like, how would you feel if this happened? And at the very end is when I ask them, so are you familiar with my challenge groups or my accountability groups? And usually they say no. And that's when you can start leading into, okay, here's what my group is and here's what we do. And then I'll usually say like, is that something that interests you? And then they tell me yes. And I don't give them that link until we are ready to go. And the thing that I found is the best with those links is I don't say, all right, go take a look at this and see what you think. I say, do you have 3 to 5 minutes to walk through registration with me? And they'll either say, yeah, I got 3 to 5 minutes. We can walk through. And then I send the link and then they walk through. Or they tell me, no, I don't right now because I'm doing such and such. And I'll say, when's a good time for me to check back in with you? And this kind of gives them that sense of urgency and also that you're going to be there with them together. Because a lot of times when they see a link, they might get lost in there or they kind of look and then they see the price. But if they go and they look at this product and you've already talked about everything they're getting and they know what the group holds, they know what everything is, then it's kind of like they're ready. They're ready to go. They're pumped up. So they're going to order right then. And it kind of, I don't have too many people now that will not write me back after the link. But it does happen. It happens to me all the time. So don't feel bad, but I'm going to share that video with you.
The other thing I think,
Like,
go ahead. You go ahead.
so now that I did that, like, obviously I'm going to have to message them again at some point.
No, yeah, just check in. What do you do? I'll tell you what you do.
Well, the other thing I think too, when it comes to Jasmine, are you kind of a newer coach?
Yeah, I just started coaching.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think a lot of times, especially as a newer coach, we kind of feel like, okay, we like kind of put ourselves out there, but we're not totally confident in ourselves yet. And there's a part of us that's like, these people are coming to me because they like my results, but they don't really want me to help them. And so I think sometimes sending the link is like that thing that we do when we get kind of like
and we're so scared
intimidated.
Of it. Yeah, well, we're so scared of it anyway. You know, you're so nervous sending the link and then you're like, are they going to write me back?
So it's like, okay, I'm getting nervous. You know, here's the link. And the thing that you have to remember is that these people are coming to you because something you have done has inspired them. And they've decided, I'm coming to Jasmine because I want her help. And you have to really like find that confidence in yourself and believe in yourself. And you have to know that these people are coming to you because they feel like you can help them.
And it comes with practice.
Yes,
Lots of practice.
It takes time. It's so normal in the beginning to have that fear or to doubt yourself. And so you just really have to focus on like finding that confidence, because they'll feed off of that, and just knowing that they're coming to you for help and you're going to help them.
And a system. You have to find what works for you within talking to someone. You'll find an exact system, and it makes it sound like I'm saying we're like planning the conversation. No, but you'll find what you start to flow with really well and what works with your personality and talking to someone. But honestly, it comes with practice. It comes with little tips here and there that we'll share with you and your team, and you can find in trainings. And slowly but surely, I promise, in a few weeks, even a few months, you'll be like, got it. You know what I mean? It just takes a little bit of time, and you'll find what works for you when you put your feelers out there.
And I always make sure too, before I send a link to somebody, that I've talked to them on a personal level about them. I've talked to them, so they'll message me and they'll say, hey, I loved your results. What did you do? And I'll say, thanks for reaching out. Thank you for the support. I've actually done the 21-day fix. This is kind of what I struggle with. I really like working out, but I kind of struggle with eating. So 21-day fix really helped me, dial in on and stay on track with my eating. And then I'll talk to them and I say, so what do you do right now for working out? Or do you, you don't have an exercise routine right now? That's okay too. And then I'll say, what is it that you struggle with? Like with me, eating, is my struggle area. And I'll kind of just talk to him like a friend, like a, hey girl, what's up kind of thing. And I'll talk to him like that. And I'll let them tell me their struggles. Because that's also going to help you decide the best program for them.
Yeah.
And honestly, 21-day fix, I feel like is amazing for everybody. So that's pretty simple. But it helps you be able, a lot of people will say, well, I really struggle with eating or knowing what to eat. And then you can tell them, well, that's what I love about 21-day fix, because it gives you these simple portion control containers and you know exactly what to eat. And just so kind of try to just build that relationship a little bit with them before you send the link, because like what Anna says, the problem is when you send somebody a link, they go on and they're like, I don't know what this is. What are all these containers and DVDs and $160? What am I, or $140? What am I paying $140 for? So you want to make sure you build that relationship and you put the value on the challenge pack before you send them to buy it, because you want them to kind of understand. Now, you don't want to word vomit. You don't want to be like, hey, so there's, it's 21 days. There's 10 workouts that are 30 minutes. This is what you do in the workouts. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to give them a whole novel, but you kind of want to just talk to them a little bit about their struggles and build that relationship a little bit before you give them a link.
Okay.
Are you Jasmine Q, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm tagging you in Team Desire to Inspire in the closing of class video, so you can watch it whenever you.
Everything you just said is like everything I've been doing. I'm so bad at it. Oh my God.
No, you're not bad at it. I swear you're not bad at it.
When I first started coaching,
I
looked back at my pictures, and my profile picture was like a picture of me flexing with like www.teambeachbodycoach/Stephanie McGee. And I look back and I'm like, you sucked.
There's people that will come to me now and they'll be like, yeah, I remember when you first started, and I was like, and I'll scroll back in the conversation and I'm like, oh good God.
Yeah.
Like,
the fact
so
that you had like 70 or 80 people
It's
like your
amazing.
picture is huge.
Amazing.
So you're going to have no problem. You already have that following. Just build those relationships and it'll be key for you.
you got it. You're fine.
Thank you guys.
And you got to find that confidence, and you just got to remember that even though you're a new coach, it doesn't matter, because you don't need to be a personal trainer or a nutritionist or know everything about every program. All you need to be is somebody who like actually cares about people and wants to help people. And if they're coming to you, it's because they want you to care about them and talk to them and hold their hand through the process, because there's plenty of other people they could go to. So if they're coming to you, they're coming to you for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't want to like screw it up. You know what I mean? Like when they come to me, like if I go back to them again, I don't want them to be like, no, you just tried to sell me this. But I wasn't really. I just wanted them to look at it. I wasn't.
That's okay. That's okay. And if it makes you feel a little better, write their names down and check in on them next month. So check in on them in 2 weeks from now or a week from now, if it makes you feel like you can get your bearings straight a little more. And you don't even have to check in about Beachbody. the best reactions that I get are when I message someone, usually my follow-ups of people who haven't written me back, and I just write something like, hey girl, I really wanted to stop by and share some positivity with you today, and I found this little quote and it made me think of you. Or I just say, I want to share some positivity with you because it's Friday. Yay, Friday. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And I leave it right at that, just a sentence or two. And usually those ones that didn't write me back for like 3 different times will write me back to that because they're like, okay, she only wants to spread some love. And then you gotta.
And make sure you're staying consistent with your posting too, because those same people that liked that picture will see your other posts and it'll kind of remind them, oh, hey, that thing Jasmine's doing, I was interested in that. Let me check on that again. Or if you have somebody specifically that you were talking to that you feel like, man, I really want to help them. Like, how can I get through to them? Speak to them in your post. So when you're getting ready to put a post up, think about that person and think about what do they need to hear and what do I have that I can offer them in a post, and literally talk to them in your post without writing their name. And you'll be surprised how they'll see it and it'll speak to them, and then they'll message you and be like, okay, like, your post got me, like, you know, what's going on? And it'll open up those lines of communication.
And that's when you're like, yeah, it did.
Yeah. And it doesn't always happen, but it's kind of like having your avatar, you know, the person that you're talking to that, you know, because the people that relate to you are the ones who are messaging you and they're coming to you for help. So don't be afraid to speak to those people. But don't be afraid of the follow-up either. Write those people down and make sure you keep track of them and follow up with them.
Yeah, I wrote them all down, but I'm like, I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm just like, I feel like I just...
Send them some positivity. Shoot them a little, hey, I'm just letting you know, I want to stop by and send some positivity your way.
I can do that.
I'm telling you. It works.
I definitely want to follow up, like, and be like, hey, so I just want to be able to, like, just say something. Like, I could definitely message it back and be like, hey, just want to see how you're doing. I can do that. But
yeah, for sure.
Or you know what you could do if you had them come to you and they're like, you know, what are you doing? I want results, whatever they said. You could run a free group and you could message all those people. You could run a free 5-day clean eating group
or a
water challenge or whatever like you feel like you would be good at. Run a free group and message those people and say, hey girl, I just wanted to let you know I have this totally free group running. You know, I want to get you in it. Let me know if you want to be a part of it. And then at the end of the free group, you let them know about your challenge group. And then that will open up the lines of communication for that again. So the main thing is just not stressing about it and just realizing that, like,
ain't no thing.
If your true intentions are not to just sell people and make commission off of them, just be yourself. People will be able to read off of that. So don't be scared of people thinking you want to make money off of them, because eventually they'll realize that you don't want to just make money off of them. That's not what it's about.
Around and you're still here a year later. So they'll be like, oh, okay.
Right.
And the people closest to you sometimes are the hardest ones to get on board. It probably took me a year before my family, anybody was even like on board with it. And now my entire family drinks Shakeology. My dad, my mom, my sister, my cousins, my aunts, literally all of them. And at first I couldn't get any of them to even like help me to Emerald. Even my dad was like, no way. And now can't get them to stop taking Mashako.
Is there anybody else who has any questions, anything they want to say? If not, we're going to give you guys something to talk about.
Yeah. You guys, if you're on a time limit, you're welcome to hop off. Becca, I see you.
Yeah, we're recording it, so if you need to jump off, jump off. But we'll be here all night.
We're here to answer questions till they're gone. So.
All right, Rebecca.
Okay, can you guys hear me through this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess my thing lately is as soon as I hit diamond, like a week later, it was gone. And then like people started dropping like flies, and then my day job got super, super busy. And it was like, you just feel like the world is just like, no, you suck. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And then it was just like, then the hurricane came and everything was just like, like you just feel like you're just getting defeated. And, like I just got done working 12 days straight and I feel like I just got hit by a train. And it's like, I'm trying to be positive and I want it so bad, but it's, and I know you guys have been there, you know, where it's just like everything is just like, no, like you can't have it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to get out of that feeling of
Fight for it.
yeah, where it's like, and I love, I'm like Stephanie, where I love to work out. I could work out every day, all freaking day long. But, and then it's like, you know, all the other stuff is the hard part. Like the working out part is so easy,
Yeah.
you know, but so I just don't know how to dig out of that sometimes.
And stuff. I would tell you to fight for it and be patient. I think you're probably just in one of those dips in your business, and it's totally normal. And we all have those times where we feel like, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart.
And back to basics.
And I'll tell you, I have those times where I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart. And then I start talking to myself and I start doing those affirmations. I'm like, get out of your own head, Steph. You know how this works. You've been doing this. Like, you know, you have these times. And then slowly everything starts coming back around. I'll start having people from like 6 months ago reach out to me and be like, okay, I'm ready, you know, or I'll have old coaches who are getting motivated again, or challengers who are like, all right, you know, I'm ready. And sometimes I feel like when all that stuff starts happening, we make it worse ourselves by focusing on all that stuff. And we start telling ourselves, when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. And then our mentality just shifts to that negative. And so sometimes even when the little positive things are happening, we don't really notice those as much because all the negative stuff is happening. So the best thing you can do is go back to the basics, wait it out, be patient, and
consistent,
and try to stay positive and keep reminding yourself. This is what I personally do. I seriously sit there and tell myself, good things are coming, good things are coming. And then I kid you not, I've had moments in my business where I'm literally like, okay.
Last year you missed Elite by like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, last year she was almost elite by like 2 days, and like.
But then I'll have crazy things happen, and I'll be like,
all of a sudden, like, okay.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how I got that coach or these like mysterious success club points that show up, and literally you will start to attract that stuff into your business. So I think the main thing is to remember that the bad times, the tough times, it's totally normal. And those are the times that make or break a great coach, because a lot of coaches, when they hit those dips in their business, that's when they're like, on to the next thing. This is hard, or back to that thing that makes me comfortable.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
And that's why you just got to stick it out, because the coaches who are successful are the ones who stick out those moments, because then you learn from it and you move forward, and it doesn't affect you like that the next time.
I think this comes a lot back to the adapting as well. Because things are changing. Sometimes we just have to adapt. If you find that you are adding people to your network every single day, you're inviting or building a conversation with somebody every single day, you're in your inbox every single day, you're posting every single day, and you're doing your personal development every day, obviously, and you're shaking your workout. If you're doing those things and you're still not seeing any growth, it's time to adapt. Something in some area needs to move forward, needs to adapt, needs to change. So maybe that's your social media, maybe it's your mindset, maybe it's your schedule, your organization. Only you can figure that out. We can't figure that out, as you know, but take a minute, sit down and think, what needs to adapt? What is not growing, or what is not changing that needs to change in my business right now? Because I'm doing everything else. And if you're not doing everything else, then obviously those are the first things that need to change, right? I think
and it was cool because yesterday I had, like, the last 2 days, I had this huge presentation at work in front of like these 50 franchisees, like this new website and everything. And I was leading it, right? And one of my staff, she told everybody at this meeting, she was like, I'm one of the most positive people I know. And then she looked at me and I was like, what? I was like, and I started like, teary-eyed, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh my God, I feel like a train wreck right now.
That's one of those things too, and that's your moment. That's that moment where remember that and think about that later. But we don't realize, we might think we're falling apart. We could be that one thing in somebody else's life, in somebody else's day, that makes them smile, gives them a sense of hope, anything. We could be that one person, and you might not see the numbers rolling in. You might not see the money rolling in, But if you're doing your job, you are impacting a life, and that is better than anything. The rest will follow. The rest will follow.
And honestly, just consistency. I mean, all it takes in this business is to find like those like 2 or 3 or 4 coaches that really want this as bad as you do. And it might take a little bit of time to find those people, or you might find those people and they might have like a bad time, you know. But once you find those people, that's the key. So you have to stay consistent, because you're not going to find the people that want to stay consistent in this business if you're not consistent. You got to remember, the people you sign on as coaches are going to mimic what you do. So, you know, if you're inconsistent or you're negative, that's who you're going to sign on. If you're the coach that has a bad time and you stick it through and you continue coaching and doing it no matter what happens, that's what you're going to teach your team. And those are the type of people you're going to attract, are the lifers, the people who are really in it to do it. And they're not going to give up if, you know, stuff gets hard. And that's what you want. It might take a little bit of time to build it in the beginning, but once you build it, it's solid and you don't have to worry about it, you know, come crashing down.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just got to stick it out. I mean, you just keep doing what you know you need to do. You stick to those vital behaviors. And you just keep telling yourself, it'll get better. I know it'll get better if I'm doing this, because if it got better for that person or Steph or Anna, you know, it can get better for me too.
And your passion too. Put your passion back into it. And you know, if working out's your passion, start making groups around that. Make things that you can get excited about, and people are going to feel how excited you are. Guys, going live, I know it's really scary, but going live is probably the biggest and best thing you could do for your business right now, because that is where it's at. And that's where it comes to that adapting. Facebook has changed. Going live is the best thing you can do on Facebook right now. And it's scary, but you're going to have more eyes. And if you're having trouble finding those people and getting those eyeballs on you, you need to be going live and saying what you're going to say live, because
see, I feel like too, the working out thing, like I love it so much that I've had so many people tell me like, there's no way I could ever do what you do. Like your workouts are, you know, you're doing all these crazy things. I could never do that. And I'm like, no, but I love yoga and I love Pio, and, you know, but I feel like just so many people are like, I just can never do anything like that.
Talk about it. Like Elise did with her post the other day when she said, I'm not a fitness expert. I'm not, you know, talk about it. Say it to people. Say, you might not like health and fitness. I do, but we're all different in my accountability groups. And that's the best part. You know, we all mesh together.
Well, another thing you probably need to do, because you probably get a lot of the same audience that I get. I get a lot of people that are like, I don't like working out. You love working out. Or, you know, you're in shape. So I'm not ever going to have abs, you know. Right. You need to be vulnerable, and you need to remind those people, like, I'm not perfect, you know. And another thing I do is I remind people, I don't work out all day every day. I do a 30-minute workout at home. You know, I shared the hammer and chisel results recently to remind people, like, I got these results by working out 30 minutes a day. Because I think sometimes people do look at us, since we do like working out, and they're like, I mean, I've actually had people say to me, well, you do like 3 workouts a day, right? And I'm like, what? Well, like, I mean, on some days I might do like 2 workouts. And I think people like get that idea about us, like, oh, he's a machine, like a crazy person who just like all the time. So sometimes you need to remind people, like, I don't do 3 workouts a day. I do my 30-minute workout, and sometimes I jog, you know, but I jog for mental reasons.
Yeah.
So those are the things you need to talk about to remind the rest of your audience. Like, listen, I'm not the Terminator who works out all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a normal person, you know. So don't forget to remind your audience of that.
Okay.
And be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything for us?
Brenda! Oh, unmute you. Brenda. There's my girl.
Hi.
Hey, ladies.
So I guess my one thing is, you know my crazy schedule before. I went from working full time, getting up at 3 a.m, and now I'm working from home, and it's totally
different ball game.
Yeah, and I think it's harder.
It is. I think it is.
I think I've been losing my lack of motivation because I'm home. And it's like, oh, I got to do this and I got to clean the house and do this. But I guess along with what you've been saying to adapting, and I wrote down to make a schedule because it's completely hard for me. I'm not used to being at home at all.
My suggestion, because I'm weird, like I'm the same way. If I don't have force myself to sit down at my desk, or I'm like, hey, what's on TV? Hey, the sky is pretty. Like, I'm all over the place. I actually set alarms for myself all day long. So I sat down one day and I was like, okay, I know I want to wake up at this time, and I know I want to work for an hour on this, and then I know I need 2 hours, and I'm going to take a break for lunch, because I was like to the point where I wasn't even eating because I'd sit down and work, and I was like, it was 2 o'clock before I knew it. So I had to set alarms for when I eat and all that stuff. And now I'm naturally in the swing of it. But at first I just set an alarm, and then when my alarm went off, I knew my hour was up for whatever it was I was doing that first hour. And then when it would go off, I knew it was time to go eat. I would even write it on the alarm for power hour, eat, shower, do what you need to do. And set your business hours. That's my biggest suggestion. Try doing a little alarm clock, because it'll get you going.
I think the other thing too, you really have to put things in order of importance. I know for me, it's like being home with my 2 kids, and I'm like the only one in my house who cleans. My husband works full time, and I'm like way too OCD. Like, he loads the dishwasher, and I'm like, no, let's take that all back down and redo it. Okay.
She's my clean friend.
So I'll be, I'll wake up and I'll be like talking to somebody, and I'll be looking at my house, and I'll be like itching. I'll be like, oh, I gotta like do this, or there's dirt on my floor, I need to sweep that. And if I don't like stop myself, I will get up and I'll like sweep, and I'll go back to messaging, and then I'll do this, and I'm like shiny object syndrome everywhere. So I think you really have to like talk to yourself and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. When I'm done with that, I'll move on to the next thing. And it needs to be in order of importance. So like, our kids obviously are our number one thing. Okay. We can't put Beachbody before our kids. But what I do is I wake up in the morning, I check in with my challenge groups first thing, my coaches, if I have anything going on that I need to check in with them. And then I move on to my kids. Okay, what needs to be done with my kids? And then I go back to Beachbody, and I do what I need to do for the rest of the time. I get my workout done. And then for the rest of the time, it's my kids and my house. And then at night, I get my kids settled down and in bed, and then it's back to Beachbody for the night. So the thing is, your schedule is going to look different than somebody else's. It's totally what works for you, but you need to figure out what works for you, and you need to make a schedule for that. So you need to have like set times for certain things. And I mean, it's totally what works for you. Some coaches take the weekends off. They don't do Beachbody on the weekends. Like I said, for me, nighttime when I'm laying in the bed is the best time for me to catch up on messages. When my kids are getting ready for bed and settling down, that's just when like my mentality is the clearest, and when I can talk to people.
I usually don't hear from her until like 10 at night.
Yeah. So it's totally just what works for you, but you do have to like put it in order. You have to have different like time slots for things.
John Maxwell, I was reading his laws of leadership, I think it is. And he says, the hardest person to lead is ourselves. And so you're not going to be able to get anything done until you lead yourself. And you can lead yourself in getting your schedule and getting everything organized. That's like your first thing you've got to do if you know that that's where you're struggling, to lead yourself. Pretend you're somebody else, and you got to lead yourself. Create your little schedule, and we're the hardest person to lead, just like we're our own worst enemy. So think of it that way too. Like I can't lead a team, and I can't lead other people if I can't lead myself to some extent. Obviously, we'll never be perfect. You guys know me.
And just remember the sacrifices in the beginning too. So in the beginning, it might feel like work. Like it might feel like you're doing a lot of work, but just remind yourself, you know what? I'm busting my butt with Beachbody, so I can hire a maid, so I don't have to do that later on. Or, I can hire an assistant to do the things in Beachbody that I don't really love to do. If you're like, work. Yeah, like if you're like me, it's really hard to do those things I just named, because I'm so OCD that I'm like, I have to do everything with everything. But you have to make sacrifices in the beginning to kind of be able to do what you want to do later on. And, staying home with your kid is like, it's huge and it's awesome. And I think that's another thing we kind of take it for granted sometimes, honestly. And we kind of get like unmotivated and like in kind of like a funk. Like with me, like when I'm home all day, I am not a homebody. I am somebody who like needs to go. I need to get out of the house. So I'll find myself sometimes like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything, you know, or this is so difficult. And you kind of just got to remind yourself like, I'm really lucky. Like I get to be home with my kids. I'm going to like do everything I can to, you know, take advantage of this opportunity. I'm going to work my butt off so I can have this life that I want in the future. I'm speaking personally. That's what I do. That's what I tell myself to make it through the day and stay motivated. But honestly, I think for you, it'll just be making the schedule and sticking to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the other thing I have to add is that I'm actually starting school in January to get my associate's degree for some technology stuff. I don't know, something to do with, I forgot the technical name of it.
Schooly.
Some school, you know. So, you know, I have to add that into the factor as well. So I'm like, but yeah.
Let me ask you, Brenda, do you feel like you want to do Beachbody full time? Do you feel like you would like to do Beachbody full time?
Yes.
What do you feel like? So tell me why you're going to school. Honestly, I want to know what you're going to school. Why? What's your for that?
Because I still have a passion. I like computers and stuff like that. So I want to learn. What I'm going to go to school for is to do the web pages.
Okay.
Okay.
In a way, I think that's going to help out.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to incorporate the two.
Yes, and also because my husband is also a personal trainer, and I have so many friends that have their own businesses, and why not be able to do web pages for them?
True.
Right.
You know, and like I said, I still want to incorporate the both of them, but I just want to get the learning aspects of it. So that's what I'm going to
so I think the thing with you just got to make sure that you still put both of them on the same
scale.
level. There you go. Because I've had a lot of coaches who were doing Beachbody, they were doing awesome at it, and then they started something else, and it was like Beachbody fell off. Yeah. And it was like they just let that dream go.
Well, because it's the easiest thing to let go, right? But you can't let it be that way.
So, and I know, especially being a mom, it's like, and I've gone to school too, and it's like when you start that, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to figure out my priorities. So I just kind of want to remind you, when you get into school, don't let that take over your priority with Beachbody. Don't get back into that mentality where you're like, I've got too much on my plate. I'm going to have to put Beachbody on the back burner for a little bit. Because if you do that, like I talked about earlier, it's going to be a continuous cycle, and you're going to forever do that. So just make sure you're kind of, if you're like, all right, this is when I have to do my homework, you know, you're going, okay, this is when I have to do my Beachbody homework. Or if I have this big test coming up, I still need to make sure I fit in the Beachbody stuff. Because it's easy. It's easy to put Beachbody on the back burner and say, I'll just pay that $15 a month and I'll get back to it when I do.
Especially when we really don't have the accountability like you do at school. I mean, yes, you guys have accountability to me, but I'm not your boss. I'm not your, I'm not going to come hunt you down. So it's like in school, you have to have that assignment in by Friday. Well, guess what? Start doing that with your business. Be like, I got to have this done by this day, this day, so sometimes that works better too. It depends on what you learn.
Yeah, that's why I want to like get down into a schedule now before I don't start school until January anyway. So I have a few months to, I want to get a schedule down and let's, get this ball rolling, because I don't want to fall back when I start school.
Right.
No, right now there is no option for me. I can't fall back.
It's your foundation now. Yeah, you're getting the foundation ready now.
Yeah, so that was it for me.
Perfect. No, that was great.
Thank you, guys.
Did we have anybody else? Angela said something wasn't working down here. Her computer was freezing up. Oh, I can't type. Did you have any questions, Angela? I don't know if you can hear me or not. I don't know if she can hear me.
I don't even know if she's on.
I see her name. I don't know if she was able to, it was kicking her off and stuff, so.
I can hear you, but my audio and video keeps freezing.
Okay. Did you have any questions? Okay. Did anyone else have anything they wanted to say? Before we kick everyone out? See, you guys have to see this. Like, if this isn't mom boss right here, I don't know what is. This kid is out on her mother's lap.
That's why sometimes I feel like I see like all the top coaches who it's like, oh, we have like this great schedule where my kids like go to bed and everything's wonderful. And I'm over here like, don't believe that. This is what happens. Okay. I am a hot mess all the time. And if I can do it, being a hot mess, you guys can do it too.
Anyone can do it. I think so. Most of my questions were covered. I had a lot of interest, but I haven't actually had anyone commit to a challenge group yet. Breadcrumbs and hoping it happens soon. That's perfect. It's good. I know she and I just talked about it yesterday. So perfect. Good. All right. Well, if nobody else had anything else, do you have any words of wisdom to impart?
No, I think we've pretty much talked your faces off. I think we'll probably start trying to do these calls more often. So I like to actually be able to hear from you guys. I know sometimes like the team gets so big and there's so much going on that sometimes it's hard to actually like talk to you guys. And one thing that I want you guys to know is like, we are always here for you guys. Like,
you guys know
we're in this with you. Yeah, we're in the trenches with you. We go through the same stuff. If you guys are feeling discouraged, don't run away from us. You know, come to us. Don't feel like you need to shut down and disappear and give up on Beachbody. I feel like sometimes we're like made to believe that, like I said before, it's all butterflies and rainbows. You see the top coaches and it's like, oh, they figured it out, you know, and it's set in stone and they made it work. And no, everybody is constantly adapting and constantly figuring it out. And it's just a matter of doing it. So just keep doing it, guys, and come to us when you need us and just find that motivation and don't give up on us because we are here for you.
Elise, did you have anything, Elise, before you good? Good. All right. Perfect. All right. Love you guys. I hope you have a fabulous night.
Bye. Thanks for getting on.
Bye.
Recording. Okay. I'm just ending it.
Yeah.